Hello and welcome, Biology Nerdside, to another episode of the Biology Pit Stop. Today, we'll be returning to Baker Park Reserve, to the place that Joe and I got stuck in the cattail swamp. But we're going back in history to see how this lake has changed over time, in water quality and in its shoreline structure. So this is 1937. The area was primarily farmland at this time. You can see the island that we were trying to get to that day. Still wooded in 1937. But this little patch here is all that's left of open water. We can see this area is flooded vegetation, but this is rather obscure. It's either cattails, which I can tell this area is cattails, but some of this up in the northern part might be getting used as grazed land every once in a while. I think it's still a pretty marshy area. You can see the outline of where it usually floods to. But if we continue, opening up 1953, you can see the water has begun to expand. It's begun to flood new territory. Who knows what caused this? Maybe heavy rain that year. But in any case, it has begun to expand and take over areas that were marsh in the previous photograph. The island has also begun to fill in, become woodier, denser. You can see the progression into this 1962 photograph. Very light, but the island has begun to fill in significantly on this bottom portion, and the flooding has begun to expand. Who knows what exactly caused this? Maybe change in the farmers' practices, that more water was getting in here. Maybe a die-off from the cattails. We can't exactly tell. But it has continued to expand. It will continue to do so into 1971, for instance. You can see a lot of runoff is coming in here. Primarily up in this corner. But you can see the water quality is really awful right here. A lot of algae, a lot of surface plants, but it is expanding into a bigger lake, and the island has completely forested at this point. This is beneficial to us because this can tell us if we do ever make it back out to the island, this north 2/3 will be the oldest portion. We know they're at least 100 years of age, because they were all immature trees in the 1930 photo. And then jumping from the 70s to today, big difference, right? In that 40-odd years, the lake expanded and filled in almost the entire portion of its former floodlands. So the lake expanded to almost up to here. But as you and I, Joe, know full well, there's still cattails down in here. And our little fun house is down in here. But would have been, actually it might have been easy to get to in the 1930s, because if we go back to that photo, this looks to be almost dry ground right here. But in any case, water quality has gone up in this lake, and you can see a lot of the land around it has returned to a more natural state than the farmland that was there. So very cool how the lake topography has changed over the last 70, 80 years.